Hello YouTube and welcome to the Indie Evolution channel. I'm InGamer and today we're going to be doing episode 8 of our Dead State Let's Play. Things look a little different on your screen than where we ended off last time. Unfortunately, I did run into a game-stopping bug that forced me to actually start from the beginning again, because you only get one save file in the 7-day demo, and once it became impossible for me to progress in that game, I did have to start over again. There was nothing tactical, strategic that caused me to be stopped. What it was is this character right here, Anita, was standing in a doorway of a small room, and I could not exit the doorway with her standing there. So it is an early access game, so there are, little minor bugs like that still kind of floating around. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at our shelter. We're not going to be doing a lot with the conversations that you can have with the individuals in the shelter. Those conversations at this point, any conversation that I can initiate at this point is actually a static conversation. And so far I haven't seen a conversation at this point that yields a quest of any kind. And also the goals section that would show us such quest is not actually implemented yet. So we're going to take a look at the main strategic interface, which is the job board. And you can see we have everyone here in party, but Davis Cray has no job. And Davis Cray is in a wheelchair, so he actually can't be part of the away team, as I've come to call it. We're lacking, the necessary components to do these repairs. Here I'm looking at the build for the well. It says we require a crowbar, which is odd because I'm almost certain I have a crowbar. Maybe I have to put it in our supply storage for it to be usable here, and then I need 30 parts to build this. As you can see, the 7-day demo, all of these gray circles are items that you would normally be able to construct. I don't know if they'll be adding to this list, but right now these are items that you normally be able to construct that you cannot construct in the demo. And it's upgrading the fence from chain link or wire to wood to stone. You can put in a watchtower, which I guess allows you to spot the undead from a longer distance. There's science labs and various other facilities. When you go into the job section and you look at these jobs, for instance the chemist, you will see that a science lab is required for the chemist to start to make a lot of these special items that he can make. So the machinist, and he can make various things in a wood shop. And right now it looks like maintenance is going to be the best role for Davis. And then these are the other roles. You can have people that will be farmers. There's guard duty, relaxation, nurse. Interesting that there's a distinction between healing, nurse, and doctor. And also there is a mechanic. Like I said, as they start to implement these features in the early access cycle, we're going to be going into them in depth. As they implement enough of them, you're probably going to see me doing separate videos just going through and explaining in detail, kind of like if you get a chance to check out the skills video that I did. That's another one that goes in detail on the skills each character possesses and how they'll affect the gameplay. So That's our main strategic interface. Kind of gives us the framework for what we'll be able to expect in the future. And it looks pretty good. I mean, that's going to be a big part of the game. I don't want to draw too many comparisons between this and XCOM, but the turn-based combat, obviously no cover system here like there is in XCOM, but strategically this seems to be a little maybe more robust than XCOM's base system. Well, no, it actually isn't. It isn't more robust than XCOM's base system, but it has that similar kind of feel to it. So I'm not sure if it'll end up being more robust than the system in XCOM. And we go to our overland map here, and we are going to be headed to the Bison, right up here on Route 190. This should be a good place for us to scavenge food, and we are going to add an additional person to our party. And there's actually an old church. We'll have to stop there on our way back after we hopefully find some parts and supplies so that we can repair the old well and get some fresh water for our survivors. I'm hoping that sometime during this demo we're going to be able to run into people out in the world that we can interact with outside of the way we've been interacting with people up until this point. Anita was not with us prior to now, so we will be outfitting her with gear. Get her a brush hook here. I believe she is kind of a melee specialist, so she's going to be forming the front line along with my character. So we're going to get her whatever armor we can. And I think that's appropriate weapons for her at this point. I actually like that brush hook as a weapon, so let's actually give her the brush hook, and let's give her a pistol just in case. And I'm just going to go into the inventory screen here. Sorry guys, I know I keep doing that. And that did it to me, didn't it? There we go. That's another little glitch I've noticed, is that when you exit out and try to come back in the game, occasionally it does give you that black screen. And some of these glitches are actually new. Some of these didn't exist at the beginning of the Let's Play, but they exist now. So I don't know if there's been an update, little changes and tweaks to the game. So we can look at her here and see that her melee ability is very high. Her strength is very high. Perks will go here, but like I said, the skill point system hasn't been implemented yet, so you won't be seeing us earn any perks probably during this demo period. But I do want to at least mention it as a feature. That's part of the game's character development. And we see a note here on the outside of this door. I definitely don't want to try to go in the front. I do want to see if this is someone who we maybe can interact with. That's something I have been looking forward to doing, is possibly rescuing a survivor. Looks like my mechanical skill is not high enough to pick the lock on the door. So we will try to make our way around to another door here. Okay, so my skill isn't going to be high enough to unlock any of these, either door. Oh, the door was unlocked. Okay, and there's a looter standing in that doorway. This brush hook does have some special attacks with it. I tried the arm chop earlier, and it doesn't look like it actually functions. It doesn't even initiate an animation. It's just an auto fail attack. So that's something, a bug that I did report to the developer. But right now we have 6 AP left, and we do have a chance to swing. We should be able to do a fair amount of damage with this brush hook. Fair amount of damage if it hits. It's just silly if it misses, and we miss badly. Looks like the game has been rebalanced since I first started. It's definitely gotten a bit harder from the survivor perspective, and I don't want to use a loud weapon if I can avoid it. So I think I'm just going to step in and swing with my knife. And that's good. You see that gets actually a bleeding wound, which is going to do a little bit of damage every round. And I can go ahead and take a step back now. And I'm not going to be able to get inside because Joel is blocking the door. What I'm hoping is that the looter here will step up. And actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to move here. Okay, the looter did step up. Misfire. And we can see that shot did do 32 points of damage. 4 points of that were absorbed by our armor. So that would be the leather jacket and the helmet that we're wearing. That's making the difference there. And I hate to try the arm chop again. I don't think that's something that I want to do. We'll just go with the basic attack for now. Wow. That's one thing I've noticed about this game, and this seems to have occurred since whatever rebalancing took place. Those 80% to hits are not they're not sure things, that's for sure. You can miss them quite often. Oh wow. Okay. And a thing I had noticed before was there were a lot of situations where we would be involved in combat, and it would seem like the other looters in the house should hear me, and they wouldn't hear you. They wouldn't come to the aid of their partner. It looks like that maybe it was just that particular situation, or maybe something has been changed in that regard, because I do see that the other looter has come up. And I have now 6 AP. My slashing attack there. Kind of my favorite attack is this dizzying smack, because it severely lowers the person's to hit if it lands, but this person is almost dead, so I think we'll just go with a basic strike to get her down. I do like the fact that when the computer does have a ranged weapon, if you notice, they'll take a step back to get to that prime range for the weapon. Rather than, you know, staying in melee range. and potentially letting you get a free strikes on them. So the computer doesn't use the AP in some way to its advantage. In some turn-based games you find that that's not the case. The healing on this game seems to be pretty much static. It's always that same amount of health healed, at least as far as I've noticed so far. That portion of the game doesn't seem to have like a random seed that goes with it. I don't have a ranged weapon with him, so I'm going to move him inside the doorway here. This is a part of the game that I've noticed is a bug. Now that I move all my guys in here, combat actually ended briefly there, which I'm almost certain is a bug. And we'll go ahead and get a heal to Brian. Her back in position. So far I haven't been able to land a strike with Anita. Finally got one. And that was a pretty good one. That was 36 points of damage there. Bring Brian back. Might be able to finish her with 2 swings of the bat. We will see. Almost dead. And down. Beautiful. And it looks like all the gunfire has attracted the friendly Mr. Zed from down the street, so you know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and use her to scavenge the body. And we did find some parts. That's a good thing. We'll be needing those. I'm not sure. The goggles, you can wear them. I'm not sure what they protect you from. But one interesting facet of the game is that as of right now, you can loot. You can't go into your inventory and move your inventory around without using AP, but you can loot the enemies without using AP, which I'm sure is something that will change before the final release. We'll actually let this guy sit there and fight the zombie on his own. Whoa. Okay. And this is basically, this was my strategy here, was to draw them in to a choke point. Okay. Just get her actually out of the way. And we'll be moving on to Anita's turn here. We have the Angry Looter. 80% chance to hit. 10% critical strike. Potentially we could do 40 damage, which is significant. And we do have some... I'm just going to try the arm chop and see what happens, probably to my detriment. And you can see there, nothing comes up in the combat log regarding that strike, but it just reduces my AP, and then she actually never takes the swing. So that is definitely a bug in the game. We're going to try the flurry here. The flurry allows me to get off 3 strikes with the machete, but it all comes at 1 THC roll. So one roll, you're either going to hit them all or you're going to miss them all. And I'm not certain if there's a damage modifier, but I think there is one toward the negative. And that was a 0 for 3. So we're going to step in with Joel, and we're going to use his dizzying smack, and hopefully we'll be able to hit this guy. Get the dizzy icon to come up, which lowers his to hit by 50% and should keep him from being too dangerous, especially people who use the big two-handed weapons. Because the people who use the big two-handed weapons, you know, they only generally get one swing per turn. So we're going to try if you look at the basic attack here, it's 25 to 40 damage. If you look at the hack, it's 23 to 40. So I'm not sure exactly there. I will find out. I believe the hack, from what I understand, there is dismemberment in the game. So maybe that's what the hack strike is actually for. And again, the special attacks with this weapon, none of them seem to actually fire off the way they're supposed to. And I am really stuck now because I can't attack from this angle. Yep. Okay, Joel, it's up to you. Actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead and get this guy out of here. Wow, I was almost convinced that short range with that shotgun would be the end for him, but apparently not. Okay, so we're going to try to finally get an attack with this brush hook. Yeah, and that seems to be all that works, is just the most basic attack for the brush hawk. So we will go ahead and finish him off. And again, we can loot him right away and get all his items. Nice, a wooden axe. Axes in this game, and I'm pretty sure the brush hook is under the category maybe of an axe. Uh-oh. Let's get her up here. And actually that one swing is all I'm going to take so I can get her back out of the way. Again, I can only use the basic attack. I don't know if there is a minus to hit that doesn't show up when you're using a two-handed weapon, because the two-handed weapons definitely seem much less effective, or much less efficient. They don't seem to hit near as often. We're going to go for the flurry strike again. And you can see we land 3 at 23 damage. And that actually finished him off. Okay. And nothing to loot there. Choke points in this game work really well. Really well. It makes things a lot easier when you can, you know, drag your opposition to a choke point and then basically, you know, create some. Uh-oh. Wow, and just ran up for the point blank range shot. Okay, and that's again, where was she when the whole battle was going on? Actually, it's probably smarter that she was back, but. And there's our flurry attack. We'll move her down here to the hall, to the cross section of the hallway. Get Renee here, right in the doorway. I don't think we'll need a flurry. If we can land the 2 attacks, we'll just take that. The only reason I did that instead of the flurry was because the flurry gives you only 1 roll. So if I missed, then I would have ended up missing everything. So I'd rather get, you know, some points than no points. Is basically, I'd rather get some damage done than no damage at all. Check the medicine cabinet here. We find some Soothenum, some bandages, and some sleeping pills. And actually, while we have the opportunity here, interestingly enough, if you look here, Anita's character is not showing up in the menu to be able to exchange items, which is odd. But we did acquire another pistol, which is nice to have. I'm not really, you can probably tell from this playthrough, very limited use of ranged weapons. You know, I don't like the idea of attracting too many undead. Oh, nice pepper spray. Okay, well that might come in handy. Don't think that'll do too much against a bag of medical marijuana. Nice. Okay, we did find some antibiotics and some other items. Important thing to remember about antibiotics in this game is if you do get a member of your team that's infected, 1 round of antibiotics a day will keep the infection at bay and they will not turn. But if at any point you cannot give them antibiotics any longer, then you're going to lose them to the infection. So I'm almost certain at points there will be, you know, times where you don't have enough antibiotics for every infected individual. And there's the state flag of Texas. Very nice. Okay, a few more canned goods. Looks like some mayo and some other stuff. Leave the over and check the TV stand. Looks like there is a Z nearby, right over here. He's an ex-looter. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with the basic attack. I'm going to use my 3 AP to step away. I'm just going to get her out of the way for now. And get Joel up there too. Might have been smarter to stay back 1 and make the Z take the extra step to spend that extra AP point. I play these games strategically, but a lot of the time I don't. You know, I haven't been sitting here trying to, for instance, calculate the amount of AP that the Z needs to implement a certain attack. Wow, and these are 65. You know, oh, nice. And that was an example of a critical hit. You know, almost kind of an insta-kill type of strike. Just want to take a look here. We found a pair of sneakers, and it says that they give you... Just curious if I will see extra AP points from equipping these on a character. No. But there are other things that can be affected. There are strikes, for instance, that, you know, if you do an arm strike, you know, you will have a character who will lose. You know, it'll cost him 50% more AP to do anything with his arms, basically, is what it amounts to. And the same goes for your specific leg strikes, you know, where it'll then cost them 50% more AP to move. So that does give you a lot of strategic depth in combat for how you want to apply your tactics. And you know what? I don't fight zombies for no reason. There's nothing. There is a canister there. And it looks like it may contain fuel that we need to keep powering our generator. So we actually will be engaging here. And just step back. There we go. So the brush hook finally paying off a little bit. And we'll see if we can finish him with the baseball bat. Very nice. Okay, so purification tablets, that's just another luxury item. And 20 gallons of fuel. That's exactly the kind of thing we need. Glad I ended up coming back here. And actually, guys, our next step is going to be to make it over to the motorbike area, and of course to Bison, the local restaurant where we're hoping to gain some food items. Looks like we've run into some unexpected company, guys. We will be taking care of this in the next episode, episode 9 of the Dead State Let's Play. This is the 7-day demo. So far, so good. I mean, I'm enjoying the game. I love turn-based combat. Wish I could see a few more of those RPG elements that we were promised, but as the developers release them and enable them, I will be bringing you the information on them and showing you those aspects in depth. So, you know, I hope you guys are enjoying this. Hope you guys are enjoying getting a look at Dead State. You know, don't forget to leave me your comments or questions about the game or anything about my commentary or my Let's Plays. I'm more than happy to hear it from you guys. And there should be a link at the end of the video that you can click to go on to our next episode, episode 9. We're going to take on the decomposing woman that's standing right over our left shoulder. Indie Evolution, In Gamer, you guys take her easy.